Last night, you may have been someone completely different. You may have been running through a city you have never visited, talking to people who do not exist in your waking life, or trying to escape a problem that felt urgent and undeniable. Maybe you were successful. Maybe you were powerless. Maybe you were searching for love, safety, money, freedom, or a way out. Whatever the dream was about, one thing was almost certainly true while you were inside it. It felt real. The fear felt real, the relief felt real, the people felt real, and the story felt real. You probably did not stop in the middle of it to ask who made the city, who wrote the story, or who created the character you believed yourself to be. You simply accepted the world as it appeared and assumed that you were the person at the center of it. Then you woke up. In a single moment, the city vanished, the people vanished, the danger vanished, the goal vanished. Even the character you had been so convinced you were vanished with the dream. From the perspective of waking up, something becomes obvious that was almost impossible to see while you were dreaming. The dream character never created the dream. The character did not create the sky, the buildings, the other people, the rules of the dream, or the circumstances it was trying to change. The character was part of the experience. The entire experience appeared, including the character. In this video, I want to explore what that simple realization might reveal about awareness, identity, and the way many people misunderstand manifestation. Before we continue, if you enjoy these deeper conversations about awareness, consciousness, manifestation, and reality, please consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing. It genuinely supports the channel and lets me know you would like more videos that explore these ideas from a different perspective. Most people approach manifestation from the position of the character. The character wants more money, a relationship, success, freedom, recognition, healing, or a different future. The character looks at its current circumstances and decides that something important is missing. From there, manifestation becomes a project. There are affirmations to repeat, visualizations to perform, beliefs to correct, techniques to learn, and signs to search for. None of these practices are automatically wrong. The deeper question is not whether a technique is good or bad. The deeper question is, who is the one using it and what are they assuming about themselves while they use it? If the person using a technique sees themselves as a separate character, trying to obtain something outside of themselves, then the entire process begins from separation. There is me here, and there is what I want over there. There is the present version of me, and there is a future version who finally has it all. There is lack now and completion later. This structure can feel so normal that it becomes invisible, but it is the foundation beneath a great deal of manifestation content. The person is not merely wanting something. They are often trying to become someone else, someone who is already loved, already wealthy, already secure, already enough. And once that identity is accepted, the search begins. This is where dreams offer a useful metaphor. Imagine that the dream character from last night discovered manifestation inside the dream. It decides that it wants more money, a safer house, a specific person, or a different future. It begins to affirm, visualize, and search for evidence that the dream is changing. Yet the dream character is not standing outside the dream and manufacturing the entire world. It is one appearance inside a larger field of experience. The city, the people, the problems, the desires, and the character all appear together. The character can have intentions and experiences within the story, but it is not the source from which the entire dream is arising. The point is not to claim that waking life is literally identical to a nighttime dream or that physical circumstances do not matter. The point is to notice a pattern in direct experience. In a dream, everything is known only because it appears within awareness. The dream city appears in awareness. The dream fear appears in awareness. The dream body appears in awareness. When you wake up, thoughts still appear in awareness. Sounds appear in awareness. Sensations appear in awareness. Memories, worries, plans, and even the familiar feeling of being a separate person all appear in awareness. The content is different, but the fact of awareness remains constant. That matters because most people define themselves entirely through content. They say, I am my name, my body, my history, my personality, my financial situation, my relationship status, my past, and my ambitions. Those things may describe the character of a life, but they are all changing. Your opinions change. Your priorities change. Your mood changes. Your relationships change. The image you have of yourself changes, yet there has been something present through every version of you. It was present when you were a child, when you were embarrassed, when you were in love, when you were afraid, when you succeeded, when you failed, and when you were dreaming last night. That constant is awareness itself. From this perspective, the biggest manifestation mistake is not having a negative thought or forgetting to visualize. It is confusing the character with the source. The character is always trying to get somewhere because characters exist through stories. A story needs movement, contrast, goals, obstacles, and a future. The character therefore becomes deeply invested in becoming. It wants to become more successful, more attractive, more secure, more spiritual, more loved and more certain. It assumes that peace is waiting at the end of the next achievement. But if every achievement occurs inside awareness, then no achievement can add awareness to itself. Awareness is already present before the achievement, during it and after it. This does not mean that goals are meaningless or that you should stop creating, working, loving, or building a life. It means that external events cannot permanently solve the inner assumption that you are incomplete. A person can have money and still feel unsafe. A person can be in a relationship and still feel unwanted. A person can be successful and still feel like a failure. Reality does not follow a neat checklist where one condition automatically produces inner fulfillment. This is one reason simplistic manifestation rules often become exhausting. People are told that they must have the correct mindset, the correct emotional state, the correct self-concept, and the correct routine before life can finally work. The rule becomes more important than the person, but who created all of those rules? One teacher says visualization is essential. Another says affirmations are essential. Someone else says you must detach. Another person says detachment is the reason you delay your desire. The contradictions are revealing. They suggest that people often turn their own assumptions into universal requirements. Once a rule is accepted, it can become powerful in someone's experience because they have given it authority. The person starts believing that a method must be completed before they are allowed to have what they want. Instead of recognizing their own capacity to interpret, choose, act, and relate to life, they become dependent on a process. In that sense, manifestation can become a treadmill. A person works hard, learns new concepts, watches more videos, repeats more affirmations, checks their circumstances, and feels like they are constantly moving. But the central assumption stays untouched. I do not have it yet. A new technique is added, but the same identity remains. A new course is bought, but the same feeling of separation remains. The person may become very skilled at manifesting, while also becoming more attached to the identity of someone who needs to manifest. The search then becomes self-perpetuating. There is always another rule to follow, another state to maintain, and another version of oneself to become. Dreams make this strange pattern easier to see. The dream character can run for miles, solve problems, make plans, and try to escape its circumstances. But it never exits the dream by improving the character. The dream ends when the identification with the dream changes. You wake up. Again, this is not an instruction to reject ordinary life or deny practical action. It is an invitation to investigate what you are identifying with. Are you only the character who is constantly trying to reach a better scene? Or can you notice the awareness in which the character, the scene, the desire, and the effort are all appearing? When the answer is only I am the character, manifestation has to feel like a struggle. The character has limited information, a past it regrets, a future it fears, and circumstances it tries to control. It is always measuring itself against an imagined version of life. It says, I will be complete when I have this, and then it treats the present as a waiting room. But when the answer begins to include awareness, something shifts. You may still have preferences and take practical steps. You may still want money, connection, health, work, or creative success. Yet those desires no longer have to carry the impossible burden of proving that you are enough. You can pursue them without making your fundamental worth dependent on them. This is also where the phrase, there is nothing to manifest, can be understood in a deeper way. It does not mean that no changes can occur in life. It does not mean that you should never make plans or take action. It means that awareness itself is not an incomplete object waiting to be improved. Awareness cannot be separated from awareness. The source cannot travel somewhere in order to become the source. If you identify with awareness, rather than only with the character, then the frantic search for a missing piece begins to lose some of its authority. You may start seeing that the thing you were seeking through money, success, or a relationship was often a feeling of wholeness that you had projected into the future. The dreamer does not need the dream character to become worthy of dreaming. The character appears, changes, struggles, succeeds, and disappears, while the dreamer remains the condition in which the dream appears. In the same way, awareness does not need your current identity to become perfect before awareness can be present. It is present in confusion and clarity. It is present in fear and peace. It is present before every desire and after every desire. The character may still have a story, but the story no longer has to define the whole of what you are. Perhaps that is why people feel so tired when they spend years searching for the perfect manifestation method. They are trying to use the character to reach what is already closer than the character. They are asking a changing identity to produce the certainty of something that does not change. They are trying to make the dream character into the dreamer, but the character does not need to become the dreamer. It only needs to be recognized as an appearance within the same awareness that is already here. Last night, you were convinced you were the dream character. Today, you may be convinced that you are only the waking character, but in both experiences, awareness was present. The dream came and went, and awareness remained. The story came and went, and awareness remained. The character came and went, and awareness remained. Maybe the question is not how to force reality to give the character everything it wants. Maybe the question is what happens when you stop assuming the character is the only thing you are. So let me leave you with this. If a dream character never creates the dream, and if your waking experience is also known only through awareness, what does that suggest about the way you have been approaching manifestation? Are you the character who is always trying to get somewhere? Or are you the awareness in which the character and its entire search appear? Let me know what you think in the comments below.